It's better to learn welding hands-on. Hello family, my name is Joe Brown, aka Black Phoenix, and I am your welding coach. And today I wanted to talk to you about welding hands-on. I have some hands-on coupons right up here that I kind of wanted to show you so that way you can kind of get an idea of some of the test plates that we do once the student is done. In this program, we have a setup where I like to call 75-25 approach. It's kind of like the gas bottle, the 75 carbon dioxide and 25% argon. 75% is hands-on, in the booth, welding, dropping beads, learning the position, the angle, travel speed, and the gap to the metal. Also learning how to fit up your own pieces and just practicing running string beads until you master the concept in all positions. And I believe that it's important to do that because you can't just read about it, open up a book and just read and read. You can gain the information, but the practical experience, you got to get your hands dirty. You got to get your hands dirty, fam. So I think welding is a process that it literally has to be done hands on. Hands on, because if not, I believe you're going to miss some of the valuable points that you'll learn once you're in the booth. Today, I was doing a class and one of my students noticed something with his gun angle. And he was like, you know what? I noticed that when I had more of a 90, my welds were more flatter is when I increased my angle. So he started doing more of a 90 and a slight drag, and the flux core beads was just coming out perfect when he was doing flat and vertical. And sometimes, he wouldn't have understood the concept of it unless he dived in it himself and actually started to weld and seen his error. And I think that's the good thing about learning hands-on, because you get a chance to see what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, all of that, and you can correct it before you master doing the wrong thing. So learning how to weld hands-on, I really believe is an asset to those who are diving into it, especially hands-on fast track classes. This class is actually 16 weeks. It's a AM and a PM class. AM is from 8 to noon, PM is from 1 to 5. Now it's only Monday through Thursday, and Friday is when you're able to come in for an extra day to work on some stuff, or if you missed a day, you can make it up that Friday. So in this time frame, which is approximately 350 hours, we don't have a whole lot of time just to not be hands-on. If I'm going to get a person ready for a job, ready to jump into the field, then I have to utilize the time, and it's best to do everything hands-on. So we teach stick welding, MIG welding, flux core welding, and the introduction to TIG welding. But we teach the basics, MIG, TIG, and stick, or MIG, flux core, and stick in 4 positions. The TIGing is more of just an introduction, giving you a feel on it, letting you check it out, but we don't have a full program criteria around that. But when you come in with the stick welding and the flux core welding, everything has to be hands-on, because the students that I'm getting don't have no experience on power tools. Now, every now and then I get someone who has a little bit experience in welding, who tried it a few times and they kind of got an idea, but wanting to tighten their skills up so they can really dive into the workforce. And someone asked me, okay, how do you teach the student if they have different agendas? Because everybody have a different agenda. So if a student come in, he said, hey man, I want to go in the shop, we're going to gear him around things that they'll do in the shop. If the student come in and say, hey man, I want to do construction, I want to go out in the field, hang iron, weld outside, then I gear them around doing that type of work. But like I say, this is a fast track program, so we have to be hands-on. So I talk to them about the things that they'll be doing in that specific field. And I leave the door open for any questions and things like that, so that way everybody can have free ground to, throw their comments out there, and I can be able to talk about specific different things that I have experienced. And family, I have traveled from From Arkansas, I have went from Arkansas to South Carolina to Washington, and all of this was from welding. And the majority of the time, what I was doing personally was stick and flux core welding. When I'm in the shop, I did a lot of MIG welding and flux core and TIG. But I made my money, the most money I had made was through stick and flux core because I like outside. I did a lot of multi-story buildings, and I actually did my biggest building that I actually worked on was a high-rise in Tempe, Arizona, not too far from the college, down the street from the college. It actually was going to be some apartments and businesses at the bottom, I believe, and apartments at the top. And it was 22 stories, so it was a cool project to be on in Phoenix, Arizona. It was from 0 to 22 stories high. And like I said, I have did things in Colorado. I have did things in a lot of structural stuff in Arkansas. When I first got started, before I left, I was in Bentonville, Arkansas. And in Bentonville, Arkansas, they have a construction company, and they're putting in all the steel work and repairs and things like that. So it was cool to get out there and get my hands dirty. But one thing that I learned is that you have to be confident. You know, if you don't know something, just say, hey, I don't know. And you have to have a spirit of, to be eager to learn. You know, as long as you hungry and you really want it, family, if you're gonna dive into welding, you're gonna get it. I wanna say it just like that. If you're hungry and you want it, you will get it. Now, it's different if your mama wants you to take the program and pay for it, or a friend, and they get you in and say, hey man, I think this should be a good thing for you. But you like, I really don't know, because the money ain't coming out your pocket. A lot of times, the students I get like that have a different approach. But I wanna say this, those who are hungry always get fed, family. Just like this table here, I like to set out a buffet of information. So it's something on there for everybody, the vegans, the pescatarians, the meat lovers, for everybody. But I don't make your plate for you. You're gonna have to grab the utensils and walk up to the table and make your plate, because we both got something to do. If I have to cook and prepare the food, you can at least come up and get what you want. You know what I mean? I can't do it all. So in a fast track program, family, I really think it's important that it's hands-on. And while I got a moment, I actually wanted to show y'all some plates, some random plates. And I'm gonna show you a stick plate. So this is a flux core plate from one of the students. This is a stick plate from one of the students. After we finish all of their tests, we send them off. Now, my goal is, if I know that a person isn't going to pass, I'm not going to send the plate off. If I can just look in and say, I don't think you're going to pass this, then I might not send this plate off. But if you are someone that I look at the plate and I'll be like this plate here, I can tell that he did some real good welds. I could be like, okay, this is good, we're going to send it off. Now, if I didn't watch him through the whole process, he might have some slag in there that I'm not aware of. So I try to go through there, watch the root pass. Once I watch them do the root pass, I'll go off and talk to someone else or do whatever, and I come back and check them as they do the fillers. But sometimes they can get some things in there that I might not see. But if I can look at the root pass and say, okay, yeah, you good, just keep on going, then 9 times out of 10, I'm confident, and I think, hey man, y'all got it. Now, since I don't be in the booth with them the whole process of taking the test, it's things that can happen. So I try to gear them up for that things before they even dive into the booth, like keeping it clean. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Always clean between passes. Always make sure the slag is gone, you know. And if you blew out or something like that that can't be fixed, you know, let me know. If we can correct it, I try to correct it. But even then, it's hands-on, family. It's hands-on. Like I say, we can grab this book, and I can teach you verbatim. This is the book we use. I can teach you verbatim through the book. And there's a lot of great information in this book. But you have to have hands-on practical experience. Hands-on. I can't stress it enough, because having hands-on experience is going to change the game for you. It's going to open up a door that no man can close. So keep that in mind. So you want to get this book, But I like to teach in a class setting like we have 75-25, meaning you're going to be hands-on 75% and the other 25% you're going to be in the book. And I think that's going to be a game changer for you. So just wanted to say, I believe welding is a skill that you have to learn hands-on because you will get more out of it than just reading it. You have some knowledge, but when it comes to troubleshooting and fixing your equipment and learning from different angles and procedures, you got to be hands-on. So I just wanted to go live and say, keep getting your hog on, keep working, but stay hands-on and find you a good facility that teaches hands-on. We are in Little Rock, Arkansas off of Scott Hamilton Drive at the Goodwill Academy, and this is a 16-week welding program in Little Rock, Arkansas. So if you know someone in Little Rock, Arkansas, tell them about the program, tell them to come down here and ask for Miss Portia, and she can give them all the information they need on if they can get a grant, a scholarship, or how to get into the program and set up payment plans or whatever you need to do. But just give them a call and get your hog on with us, fam. I'm out. Black Phoenix.